Hello, Teen Tech Club. It is I, Mr. Charles, again, here with another exciting Teen Tech Club adventure. For those listening and watching, thank you again for joining us this week. Again, this month, we will be learning 3D design through TinkerCad. So, for those again joining us, we're going to start at tinkercad.com. All right, and if you've already joined TinkerCAD, you'll just need to sign in using your account. If not, you can join here on the top right. Okay, but since I have an account, I will sign in. Here we go. That is me, Charles Gallo, Mr. Charles. I am from Ridgewood, which is a part of Buckles, which is an Orge. And next. Okay, close your eyes again. All right, and we are in. So, for today's design challenge, all right, we're going to create a new design here. Give us a brand new build plate. Now, last week we had designed a rocket ship. Your challenge was to build a vessel that can take you off this planet. And with success, we have done that. And we have just found our new home. We have crash landed on our new planet. And what we need now is a home. We need a residence. All right, so we've enacted squatters' rights. You found yourself a nice plot of land, and now we need to build. So this could be your current home. This could be your dream home. In my case, I'm going to be building a castle or a moat, fortress, something along those lines. All right, so first thing is I'm going to start off with a solid red block, and I'm going to grow this. Oop. Let me zoom out a little here. Here we go. All right, now I'm going to make this block. Okay, so again, if you're rescaling an object, if you click on the square on the bottom right corner, all right, you can manually type in a different number. All right, so I'm going to make this block, let's see, 151 by 151. All right, Mr. Charles works strictly in prime numbers, so 151 seems like it's a good fit. All right. Now, what we're going to do with this block, all right, now if you can look over to the right, all right, in our shape menu here, all right, we've been just designing with solid shapes, solid blocks. So as we look down here, everything you see is solid. At the top here, though, you're going to notice two different shapes that are a little bit grayed out and have some slashes going through them. So the difference with these shapes is these are actually holes. So a hole or a negative can be used to subtract from solid shapes and objects. So I'm going to take this hole, this little square I have now, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than my red rectangle or square. So let's go ahead and make that 131, another excellent prime number, by 131. Very good. Okay, and now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. So I want to get these two objects perfectly aligned again. So we're going to highlight both of these shapes. Okay, you can draw a box around them. Okay, and then the top right here we have our alignment tool. Okay, so I want to make these two shapes dead center. So I'm going to go middle, middle. Okay, so now that I have these two objects aligned perfectly in the middle, I'm going to group them. So, a little math here. We are taking a positive, a solid shape, and a hole, a negative shape. Okay, so what happens when you get a positive and you add a negative? You get, well, I guess that depends on the numbers. But in this case, you're essentially subtracting from the solid. So again, with these two objects selected, okay, if I group them, okay, so on the top right, right next to the alignment tool, you're going to see this tool here that says group. Okay, so by grouping these two shapes, okay, again, solid and a negative, we get a hole. All right. So now I have the beginnings of a wall. All right. Again, I am making myself a castle. All right, here is a wall that I am now building to protect myself. All right. All right, so I'm actually going to take this wall and I'm going to move it to the side for a minute. Okay, because you can't just live in a wall. All right, you need some sort of structure. So now it's time to build my home. Alrighty, so I'm going to start with another red box. All right, and I'm going to make this a different size. So let's see, what size do I want to make my home? Let's go with 91 by 91. That is a lovely, lovely rectangle. Or square. Cube? I'm not sure what that shape is just yet. Let's make it a cube though. So it is 91 by 91, and then on the top square here I can change the height of my object. So I'm going to make this one 91 millimeters as well. All right, that's a nice tall structure there. All right, so what I'm going to do now is it's time to add to this castle some lookouts. All right, so I'm going to move my building off a little bit. All right, and I'm going to take another hollow shape. Okay, and I want to make this square slightly smaller than the square I have here. All right, so this is 91 by 91. So let's make this 71. 71, also another excellent prime number, 71. All right. Now what I'm going to do with these two shapes are, I'm going to highlight them again. All right, that way they're both selected. Okay, and we're going to look at a tool here called mirror. Okay, the mirror tool, once I hit that, all right, will give me different markers, different lines, okay, of where I can mirror this object. So I want to mirror this to the top of my solid shape. And so that's what this top of this up arrow will do. Okay, and then off to the side here, I have another side arrow that'll center it into the middle. Oops. Hey. Why didn't that do... All right, scratch the mirroring. All right, we're actually going to do an alignment and grouping technique. So with this hollow again and solid shape, with them both selected, I'm going to make sure they're both aligned to the middle and middle. And I'm also going to align the shape to the top. That way the hollow is right at the top of my solid shape. Okay, and with those two selected again, I'm going to group them. And what happens when we group a solid and a hole? We get a negative. So in my roof, I have a slight little hole. All right, I'll explain what that's for, right? But for now, I'm just going to move this off to the center. All right, now I'm going to take some more hollow boxes, some more holes here. Okay, and with a top view of my home, and in case you're having any issues getting to this perspective, all right, over here on the top left, we have top. So you can click that and it'll give you a perfect top view. Okay, and what I'm going to do with this rectangle here is, all right, I'm going to zoom in a little closer just so that these markers are a little easier to grab, but I'm going to shrink it firstly. Let's cut it in half almost. We'll do 11. And then I'm going to stretch it so that it is longer than my structure. And I'll explain why in a minute. All right, so I have one of these made. Now I'm going to duplicate this. So with it selected, I can do Control D. Okay, up here there is a duplicate tool. So Control D once, Control D twice. Now I have, or should have, 2 copies of the same shape. All right, so I'm going to take these and I'm going to spread them out. Okay, a little evenly from each other here. Okay, so now that they're evenly spaced, I'm going to move my structure off of them just a second. We'll come back to that shape in a moment. Now I'm going to take these 3 shapes, all right, and I'm going to group them. Okay, so now this is one hollow, and I'm going to duplicate these 3 now. So Control D, duplicate. Now that I've duplicated them, I'm going to rotate them. So again, when you have an object selected, you're going to notice curved arrows, and that'll allow you to rotate any of your shapes, so 90 degrees. Okay, and what I wanted here was just to get a cross, a hash cross stitch. I don't know what this is, but I wanted these hollows to cross each other like this. All right, so with them all crossed, I'm going to group these shapes once more. All right. And then off to the side here, I'm going to bring back my structure. All right, so with these 2 objects kind of stacked, I'm going to select them again, and we're going to align them. So I want all of these shapes to be aligned perfectly to the center, middle. Okay, and then I want, okay, the hollow to go all the way to the top here. Okay, so now that this hollow is at the top, I'm going to raise it up just a little bit. Almost there. All right. All right, so now that this is raised to the top, I'm again going to select both of these 2 shapes, and I'm going to group them. So anytime, again, you take any grouping of hollows and you overlap it with any solid and you group them once more, the negative effect is going to happen. And now I have a lookout. All right. Just in case I have to protect myself. All right, so then off to the side, I have my nice little box here, my moat, which I can later fill with water and sharks, anything else that a dream castle might have. All right. So any shape that you find here. So I've just been using the hollow, the hole for a box. If you notice to the right of it, there's a cylinder shape. All right, but if you don't like either of these 2 shapes in terms of making holes or hollows, all right, any shape that you take. Okay, so let's say I want to make myself a doorway. All right, and I want it to be the shape of this round roof here. All right, so any shape that you take, whoopsies, undo. All right, so any shape that you add, okay, to your work plane, after you select it, you're gonna notice that you're gonna have a solid here. This color box allows you to change the shape of that object. But next to it, there's the hole option. So you can take this object or any object and turn it into a hole. Okay, so I've now taken that half cylinder and I've made it a hole. And if I take that hole and I select it with my wall here and I group those two shapes, again, grouping a solid and a hole, we get another subtraction. Okay, now I have a little cutout here, as you can see. Okay, a couple more additions. We'll just add a couple of, let's say, windows, I think. All right, so I'm going to use a box shape again for my windows. So for that, I'm just going to align with the edge of my structure. I'll raise it as high as I want it to go. And I will duplicate that. And then move that over to the right. Nudge, 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 nudge. And I'm going to select my windows and my middle structure, and I'll group those again. And now I have more cutouts. Okay, so you can use this technique, okay, these holes that they give you, or again, you can turn any shape into a hole and make cutouts out of any of the solid objects that you add. All right, and one last finishing touch from the shape menu here. I am going to go to characters, because I think I saw myself in here. Here I am. There's Mr. Charles. King of my castle. All right. Oops. There we go. That's my dream home. Minimal windows, no light. All right, so with all of these techniques and tools that I've just shown you, I want everyone to go and explore TinkerCad and hope you have fun designing your new home. All right, so thank you again for joining me this week. I hope to see you all next week for a new exciting adventure on TinkerCad. For any questions, everyone can just email me, cgallo@ridgewoodlibrary.org. And I hope to see you all next week. Mr. Charles out.